guys, we may have to get a little aggressive.
Boy, that boy goes. I see you, baby. He good. That boy good. That's what we work for right here. Come on, pad level, pad level. Hey, those shoe penalties on us. We gotta make up for it big time, big blocks.
Oh, yeah, Riley! That's what I'm talking about!
Yeah, that's my dog.
I don't have a disco, but let's all start dancing.
107 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, 75 through the air. Aaron Jones.
Yo, Zach Taylor fired up in there. Anyone else catch that? We'll see if he can get a win this week for his Bengals. A pretty good week in terms of interesting matchups, even matchups, with 6 games in the early slate, 4 in the afternoon. I've got the Niners-Rams circled on my schedule in that time slot. And I've got some serious questions about the other games that you see here. Let's go on the clock for 4 minutes, and let's start with the Saints and Jaguars. A great running back matchup. If Kamara is on the field, don't know that he will be. He's questionable with an ankle injury that popped up this week. Can New Orleans win this game without Kamara being Kamara?
It's going to be tough. And the reason I say that is because Teddy B has been playing well. But when you have a backup, you have to give them some help here. And I think in a game like this against Jacksonville, the defense hasn't played like we thought they should or they would. So I think Kamara taking more pressure off Teddy B would be a welcome addition. He has not had that game that we saw last year. He hasn't had that signature breakout game. Only 1 touchdown on the season. Hasn't eclipsed 100 yards in a game. So to me, he has to have a breakout game for them to win this game against Jacksonville.
Cowboys-Jets, on paper, it's a total mismatch. Should we throw the paper out because of Sam Darnold returning to the field?
Oh, yeah. I think Sam Darnold, first of all, I have the Jets winning this game. Let me say that. Let me say that at the start.
What?
Let me go. Before I start about Sam Darnold, I'm going to say this. Kellen Moore was touted like the new golden boy of offense and all these different things the first couple of weeks, and they've struggled as an offense the last couple of weeks. So for me, Sam Darnold is going to give these guys fits because of his athleticism. Watch how he moves around the pocket. He's a big play waiting to happen. And granted, I don't like to talk good about guys that went to the other school, but watching the way this offense is, it's built around his athleticism. Him being able to get out of the pocket, find ways to get the ball down the field, and it's going to take a lot off of Le'Veon Bell. And I think Le'Veon Bell's going to have a big day.
Bold predictions.
That ain't bold. That's not bold. That's real.
That?
I didn't know that was the name of the segment.
But okay.
Jets over Cowboys. How about Atlanta, Arizona? A couple of one-win teams. Does this feel as big for Atlanta to you as it does to me?
It is huge for Atlanta right now. You're talking about Dan Quinn having to have a win. The defense, he's a defensive guy. The defense has not played to the level that we expect that defense to play to. You now face a rookie quarterback who is handing out sacks. If your defense does not play well in this game, we might be hearing a little bit more rumors, and it might get a little bit louder in terms of him not making it through the rest of this season. So this defense has to play well against the Arizona Cardinals and shut them down to have a great performance so we say, okay, now we see where you're coming from.
Weird game for the Chargers last week. Got 2 of their best players back on offense. Looked awful on that side of the ball. Is this a get back on track game for them against Pittsburgh?
This is going to be a tough game to get back on track. You have too many injuries to that offensive line. You have a lot of things going on. You may get Hunter Henry back, but the Steelers have a ton of guys. I don't know how many guys they have on defense that are first-round picks. I was trying to look that up, but I was doing fantasy before this. But they got a lot, and they stopped the run last week. They forced Lamar Jackson to throw from the pocket, and he was throwing interceptions. And so for me, this defense is starting to play better and better and better, and I think, again, they're going to give the Chargers some problems.
Lions-Packers on Monday is for first place in the NFC North. Let me say that again. The Detroit Lions could be in first place at the end of Week 6. Will they be?
See, before the season started, I did the Packers schedule, and I wasn't very favorable to the Packers. So this is going to pain me to have to pick the Packers in this game. And the reason I say the Packers are going to win is because I've seen a team who can win in multiple ways. The first part of the season, they won with defense. The last part of the season, the running game came back. Aaron Jones carried this team to a victory. Now, Aaron Rodgers' record against Matt Patricia is really, really good. Let me show you the chart here. He's really good against them. So I have a feeling that this game is going to be an Aaron Rodgers just breakout game for them. And when you can win like that multiple ways, your team is very hard to stop. So I think this week, the Detroit Lions, they do not become divisional leaders this week. Packers will stop that.
Wait a little while longer. How about the Ravens? Kind of Jekyll and Hyde this season. What do you need to see from them against the Bengals to make you feel good about them?
They got to get back to running the ball, having explosive runs. I think if Lamar Jackson can get going, it'll open up everything else. Well, you took them all the time, right? I think the run will help the defense, will help the passing game, and they'll get back going.
Do they need to blow them out in order to feel like
I just think
Ravens
I think they need to win the game handily from start to finish. TD's going to say otherwise, but this ain't the 90s.
The buzzer, man. The buzzer just buzzed.
Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews both worth tracking for that game from an injury standpoint. Both questionable. Brown is a game-time decision. We got a few of those at the running back position as well. Todd Gurley actually listed as doubtful for Sunday. Kamara is questionable. David Johnson is questionable. Rashad Penny is questionable. Chris Carson, Christian McCaffrey are banged up. That's like half of your fantasy draft's first round. So what do you do if you have these guys on your fantasy team? Well, you turn to our Fantasy Live crew for some fantasy advice presented by FedEx.
Well, just in case you haven't heard, there's a few banged up running backs league-wide, so we may need to put a contingency plan in place as we look forward to the weekend. And we'll start with the Rams because Todd Gurley, Fabs, he's doubtful. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, man, go to the waiver wire and pick up Malcolm Brown. This guy's available in most leagues on NFL.com. He will see the lion's share of the touches against a very tough 49ers defense. Darrell Henderson will see some touches as well, but he's played 2 snaps this season, so I think the smart money is on Malcolm Brown.
Cynthia, how about Alvin Kamara? Did not practice on Fridays. Questionable, so I need some answers.
Yikes. Track that one really closely because he's a huge part of this offense. You could go pick up Latavius Murray. He's available at about half of NFL.com leagues, or you could even maybe look to pick up Ito Smith just in case you absolutely need some insurance here.
Okay, well, Alvin Kamara did not practice. David Johnson, Graham, he did on Friday, but who knows, right?
Right. Cliff Kingsbury said he's a game-time call for Sunday, but Chase Edmonds needs to be stashed in all leagues just in case DJ cannot go. Edmonds might actually have some standalone